What's so curious time, guys? DCU Daily Time specifically, but here we are. Today is indeed Thursday, and we have a bunch of things for you. Not all the things, but a bunch of things. We have the news to start with, as usual, and not a ton of stories, but still a good amount. And mainly some MCU stuff, a little bit of movie talk madness, but not a ton, as well as my review of the Matt Johnson film Tony. Liz previously reviewed it on the show, but I just watched it today, so I will be reviewing it today. So stay tuned for that. And then, quick hits. Yeah, I know, only MCU Daily and Movie Talk Madness, but then it's a lot of quick hits, and then into DCU Daily, we have a lot of DC quick hits in addition to regular quick hits, then a bit of Man of Tomorrow news, a lot of Adria Arjona stuff today, and then in regards to both the DCU Batman and the Batman Part 2, obviously we are getting more and more set photos by the day in regards to the Batman Part 2, and apparently maybe the mysterious blonde has been spotted once again on set in the Batmobile. So is it Scarlett Johansson? Is it not? We'll talk about it. Then we have lanterns as well as the days, as the length between episodes gets shorter. We are going to be talking about some promos, some teasers as the time clicks to Sunday with episode 3 Outcast, so we will be talking about that. But that's it. Not a ton today, but that's a-okay. So let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Let's talk DC. Let's talk all the things and get us started.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. Number 2.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot, right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see Cullen.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the world needs now.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back after the lovely little news intro that we have. Well, we're joined by a couple people. Monique didn't feel like cooking today, so salad it is, and that's not too bad. I didn't really have a proper dinner. I had a late lunch. I had a grilled cheese, which was very good. I just had some Biscoff cookies as well, so I might have a sandwich later. But yes, very lovely to see you. Caleb is also in the chat. Hello. Bit of a late show today, but again, considering there's not a lot of news, it's not too bad. As well as, guys, even though it's pretty much locked in at this point, still go vote for Fancast Friday. We've been getting more and more votes. Like we usually had 50, then it went to 100. Then it was like 225. Then the last one was like 545. So I haven't checked on how many votes there have been, but it's getting people excited, getting people talking. Enterprising YOLO fam. Thank you for that. Hunter, yes, we will be talking about Get Euro later in the show. So don't you worry about that. Dan's telling me that who is backstage right now. It is at 600 right now. So guys, thank you very much, even though it's usually not mainly you guys, because you guys talking, but like, hey, we're happy about that. So even though it's a kind of a weird way to get an audience, you know what? It's a-okay. Hopefully those people that voted check out the channel, check out these live shows, and then we can become bigger and better and stronger and faster. But speaking of bigger, stronger, and faster, there was a man that made us all feel a little bigger, stronger, and faster who unfortunately passed on with now the celebrity deaths that are really shocking the core to everyone. Peter Cullen, the most famous and the most popular voice of Optimus Prime, passed away at the age of 85 today. Also, the voice of Eeyore. I actually didn't know that until today. My friend of mine told me, and I was like, "Oh my god, how did I not notice that?" But it just goes to show the range that Peter Cullen had. But yeah, this is another one. I believe there was another actor today from the film Menace to Society that also passed away. I'm forgetting
Yeah,
the
no, I saw
name,
that. I have
but
the name. Give me a second, John. It's
yes,
Samuel Monroe Jr.
Samuel
He
Monroe
was
Jr.
52.
also passed away. Unfortunately, Peter Cullen, being the more iconic name, kind
Yeah.
of drowned that out a little bit. But Samuel Monroe Jr. also passed away, and I would like to note that as well, because even though he was, the not nearly as iconic as the three deaths that we've been talking about the past couple of days, still worth noting, still a sad death, and still would like to commemorate that. But yes, we have another celebrity death, another 80-year-old that isn't the 80-year-old we want, but it's the 80-year-old we're getting because God hates us, ladies and gents.
I mean, it's just been a crazy
Yes.
week. It's just I don't like
I'm
it's
just,
really I
as
don't
I said
even
yesterday, I'm just kind of numb to it all at this point. Like, I'm just kind
um
of numb. That's a shame because, like, all these wonderful people. I will say this, like, if there's any, like, penance for it of, like, they were all in their 80s. Like, that's good long lives. At least it's like, we talk about these 80-year-olds, we just had Hayden Panettiere last week who was days away from turning 37, which was much more, tragic as opposed to, like, not saying like it's worse or better. I'm not comparing, it's apples to oranges, but it just like Hayden Panettiere had decades left to prolong a great career and a great life, while these men and women lived very long, good, prosperous lives, and it was more natural that their times were up. Um, but so I will say that. So 85 is a good long life. He gave us
I mean,
plenty of magnificent roles to his
yeah.
career. Um,
Yeah.
very unforgettable ones,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So I mean,
Um,
so many. I mean, it's
yeah,
Optimus is the biggest one, but I mean, there's still
Optimus is
so
the
many.
biggest one. Again, I didn't realize he was Eeyore. That's like
Yeah,
my favorite Winnie the Pooh character. Like,
dude, it's
because
like
I'm literally Eeyore. He's literally my spirit animal.
he's lit- it's
But
Eeyore is also
it's
like a very like a underrated character from the Winnie the Pooh franchise, and I mean that's I think that's again Peter Cullen. I think it's ironic that a lot of people didn't realize that. Oh yes, he also
I
voiced
mean, he
Eeyore,
was
right?
in
It's
he was in like so much stuff, like a lot of like
yeah,
weirder things, but it was like mainly a lot of Transformer stuff was like the big thing, obviously, but he
yeah,
was also in the GI Joe movie.
yeah.
He did a lot of like animalistic voices. Like,
Hmm.
one of his first credits was the 1970s King Kong film, voicing King Kong. And he
Yeah,
was the Predator, the voice of the Predator in like the Arnold Schwarzenegger film. He
yeah.
was
I mean, just
in
some geeky guy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so much.
Also
And
handsome gentleman, all-time goated voice. It's like now James Earl Jones is gone, Peter Cullen is gone. It's like some of the greatest, most iconic voices that we all have grown up with, and just hello D Cole. It's just yeah, 1941, 2026. He was 85 years of age. I mean, far and away, obviously Optimus Prime was his most iconic role, as it were. Like it just and Optimus Prime. I mean, dude, you may not like like most people don't like Transformers: The Age of Extinction, but I'm just like, I mean, at the end of every one of those Michael Bay Transformers movies, he even did the voice of Optimus Prime in the newer Transformers films. But I'm like, I just remember like The Age of Extinction to me is one of my, I mean, I know I'm in the minority, but one of my favorite Transformers movies. And at the end of the movie, you get like one of those small monologues from Optimus. He's like, I am Optimus Prime, and this message is to my creators: leave planet Earth alone, because I'm coming for you. And then you get the music, and then it's stings, and he flies off into space. It's just, he had a presence.
Linkin Park
He had a
plays
godly
in the background.
voice. Well, that was in the first one.
No,
that was in the first one, but I mean, it's still like, yeah, I mean, it just, those movies were more epic because Peter Cullen voiced Optimus Prime, and yeah, it's just, and those, again, his career was long and decorated even beyond, I mean, certainly Transformers, but yeah, it like the Transformers movies just won't be the same without him, you know what I mean? And then again, I feel like still only touching, like, it's an iceberg in terms of like the depth of his career, and all he accomplished, Emmy-winning actor, and we used to have Andrew on the show, who's a working voice actor in Hollywood, and I'm sure he was probably devastated because, again, like voice acting today, there's very few people that can like hold a candle to the kind of career that Peter Cullen had, and obviously will be remembered, for forever and ever. And I think we could probably just, I mean, celebrate his life and career. Let's spend some time this weekend and watch back the work that he leaves behind. And I don't know if you know the cause of death, but I mean, at the age of 85, like you said, he had a long, fruitful career and life. But yeah, I mean, again, for those of us who would like to have had more from him, obviously it feels like life and career cut too short. Even at the age of 85, we would have loved to have had him with us for a lot longer, right. But yeah, Peter Cullen, it's kind of insane because, like, I'm still trying to get to terms with the idea that 3 days in a row, like, I think even like the last couple of years, we've had these weeks, just devastating weeks. I remember Gene Hackman, and then there was a couple of others that happened within a 2-week period. It was just like, oh my God, it just doesn't stop. And now you got Dolly Parton, Tim Curry, and Peter Cullen 3 days in a row. And not to mention, Hayden Panettiere, like you said a few days ago. There's been like I said, there's been one of the greatest publicists in the history of Hollywood passed away a couple of days ago. A very young producer in our 30s who produced some good indie movies in recent years passed away a few days ago. Like you said, Samuel Monroe Jr. passed away. Menace to Society, Tales from the Hood. He was only 52. There's just been a lot of that, and there's a couple. There was another black actor. I forgot. He was in his 70s, and
Tony Todd is probably who you're thinking of.
No. More recently, just this week, he was in a number of. He was like a character
Michael
actor,
Wright.
like Tony Todd. I think so. I want to say you're right on that. Let me see if I can dig this up, because I think I kind of saved it, and then it's just like making these show rundowns. There's so much to go through, and usually like birthdays and passings, unless it's a really big name, we more often than not don't end up covering it. Oh, you're right, Michael Wright. Yeah. He was the lead vocal. Yeah, he starred as the lead vocalist, Eddie King Jr. and Robert Townsend's The Five Heartbeats, and as Wesley Snipes' brother in Sugar Hill. He died recently. He was 70 years of age. So this is from a couple of days ago, I believe. So yeah, it's just there's so many, yeah. I mean, again, even for us and talking about it, what we talk about on the show, there's so much to get through every day. We feel like we have to leave a few things off the rundown, but I think it's worth a mention. I also saw Kiefer Sutherland, Luke Evans, Carol Burnett all paying tribute to Tim Curry. Again, tributes for Dolly Parton keep coming in. Robert Greenblatt was remembering his longtime friend, a 23-year-old friendship with Dolly Parton, called her a radiant life force. Somebody else, I forget who, said with Dolly Parton, they broke the mold after they made her, like God broke the mold after they made her. And it's just, we found out the cause of death for Dolly Parton was a brief battle with cancer today. And so it's just been one of those weeks, but yeah, Peter Cullen, we will remember him. And again, it's like James Earl Jones, right? Darth Vader, The Lion King and many others. With Peter Cullen, you certainly have Optimus Prime, Transformers, and it would just it will never be the same again. But we'll always have the work that they did to go back and remember them by. And I probably will end up watching. I could use any excuse to watch back my favorite Transformers movies, and this is definitely one of them. So, but yeah, thank you for your drawing. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Optimus, Autobots roll out, and Peter Cullen has rolled out into the great beyond. Thank you, Robert Storms. But yeah, D. Cole saying, do you think we're gonna get another Transformers movie with Shia LaBeouf, Tyrese Gibson, and Josh Duhamel?
Definitely not. Shia
I'll
LaBeouf
be
is
honest
like...
with you, probably won't. But
I mean,
if you want to do a
Tyrese
nostalgia
Gibson and
sequel,
Josh Duhamel might, but Shia LaBeouf is like beyond.
He's in his Ezra Miller
like...
era right now, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But maybe 10 years down the road, a nostalgia sequel might be happening. Yeah, I mean, Dolly's writing a lot. We have some other stuff with Dolly Parton later in the show. Just remembering her work again. It's all over. She was an icon not just in the U.S. but all over the world. What a week, right? World Beep, yeah. But you know what? Let's up the mood a little bit and talk about some Marvel.
Yes.
I wish Tony was watching live. I'm sure he's gonna appreciate this one later, because we got a wrestling crossover potentially.
Oh boy.
With Marvel.
Oh god. Is Cody Rhodes MCU bound? Who knows? But yeah. So apparently,
Cody Rhodes was on the studio lot for Marvel Studios, on Disney lot, and he visited Marvel Studios, and he posted this photo in his stories, looking very dapper like he usually does. With
it's just like, here's the thing. I will say this about Cody Rhodes: like, he's not John Cena, he's not Dave Bautista. He's the closest to The Rock, where he's like, he can get by with like maybe a little bit of charisma, but the man doesn't really have much acting ability. But we'll see. Maybe he's doing something, maybe he's not. I don't know. But
look, here's what I'll say. I mean, he's obviously in the Street Fighter movie. He doesn't have a lot of acting credits. He was in Arrow. He played a drug dealer called Derek Sampson.
He was also in The Naked Gun.
Yeah,
the new one. Tony Rowland's brother. Like, it's just
I mean, look, I'm gonna go see it in theaters. Street Fighter. I don't think Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes will be the best part of the movie, but here's the thing. Cody Rhodes is not a great actor right now, but neither was John Cena when he started out. But John Cena started out acting a lot younger in his wrestling career than Cody Rhodes has. Remember, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, who are a couple in real life, have a family together. They both have shot stuff. I mean, Becky Lynch shot something for Eternals, and then Seth Rollins famously shot stuff for Captain America: Brave New World, both of which were cut from the final movie. So this wouldn't be the first time or the second, that WWE superstars have done stuff at Marvel Studios. So this could be something minor, probably. But Cody Rhodes, I think, moved from Georgia to LA to like try to pursue it, because for all wrestlers, like pursuing a career in acting beyond when you were able, their time as active competitors in the ring is a fruitful endeavor, and it doesn't mean that everybody succeeds in it. But obviously, The Rock, John Cena, and Dave Bautista have had very successful careers. Especially The Rock, he for a number of years was the biggest, highest paid actor in the world. So I think if Cody Rhodes wants to try it and make his mark on Hollywood, then power to him. I mean, we'll see if it actually ends up turning out as something significant. But if Cody Rhodes is MCU bound, it makes you wonder what are the possibilities.
A good thing or a bad thing is up in the air right now.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
not the only rumor mill that we got to talk about. Apparently, there's a comic accurate link between Mr. Sinister and Spoiler, our favorite MCU character, Spoiler.
Yeah.
In
we love Spoiler.
So, as we know, Adam Driver is playing Nathaniel Milbury, which is an alter ego of Mr. Sinister. It's one of the many names he's gone used in the comics, kind of like how Eric Lensher was not Magneto's real name. That's the one that they for some reason chose for the Fox X-Men franchise, because Nathaniel Essex, I believe, is the name, but I guess Essex sounds too villainous, and then maybe they want to start off him not being a villain, and then he becomes a villain. I don't know, but we'll see. With all of this, Sinister is closely tied to Cyclops, largely because he views the Summers bloodline as the key to engineering the ultimate mutant. The villain monitored the young Scott throughout his childhood and into Cyclops' adulthood, remains obsessed with the hero. Insider Daniel Rickman is reporting that Mr. Sinister will be linked to Cyclops in Marvel Studios' X-Men. He doesn't share any additional insights, but this sounds like a step in the right direction for Scott on screen. So, then you also have Lana Condor saying she'd love to come back. So there's that too.
What was she? Jubilee?
She was
Oh, yeah,
Jubilee
she was
in
Jubilee. Okay.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Right. Hey, wouldn't mind it. I don't know if that means. I mean, did she say she talked to Kevin Feige or something? I mean, what was she? Because there's a few different rumors in this article.
Yeah.
No, she was just interviewing with the direct, and she said, "That's all I've been hearing. She would love nothing more than to be back as Jubilation Lee, but no real conversations. I've talked to the filmmakers and been like, hey, listen, I'm 10 years older now. I know more. Bring me back. So we'll see." So she implies that she might have reached out to either Jake Schreier or Kevin Feige or maybe somebody else like Louis D'Esposito or somebody at Marvel Studios, maybe Brad Winderbaum. But I wouldn't mind seeing her as a Jubilee variant, in Secret Wars. I don't know if they're gonna bring her back for the new X-Men, team. But yeah, there's a third thing here too in this article, like a little roundup of
like James Marsden saying it's a collision of 3 gigantic universes coming together in the face of a very serious existential threat, which is, the Fantastic Four 828 universe, the MCU universe, Earth 199999, and then the Fox X-Men universe. I don't know the number, though. I forget.
I think it's like 10,005 that keeps it. There's like,
I think,
fours, something like that. Anyway, like I was gonna say there's like 4 zeros in there, so like that must 10,005. Anyway.
Yeah.
Weird number, but interesting.
But yeah, interesting. What else is interesting is apparently the Russos insist Doctor Doom has 0 similarities to Iron Man, even though you've been saying for months that there's like gonna be a fucking thing there that's gonna connect the two. But like, sure, bud. Encore is going to connect the story of the 2 movies. There's a natural progression from Endgame into Doomsday, which is also inclusive of all the other stories that have been playing out. Well, I think it's important to see Endgame again in theaters for 2 reasons. 1, you're going to have a lot of fun, and 2, I think it's required viewing for following the story in Doomsday. Wow, good thing I don't care, and I'm not going to watch either.
Now, the thing is, the way they say 0 similarities makes you wonder if they mean like there's no character similarities, or if they're hinting at the idea that there's no actual like in-story connection between Doom and Tony Stark because they're played by the same actor. Because remember, Gemma Chan famously played like an alien character in Eternals. Sorry, not Eternals. In Captain Marvel, and then obviously she was in Eternals. So, I have a feeling they're trying to throw us off the mark. Later on, we'll talk about how they're still doing reshoots for Doomsday. So maybe, unless something changed, like and they decided to like go in a different direction with that aspect of like, are they going to make the connection or not? Maybe the reshoots changed, or maybe again, this is just a red herring. I think the Russo brothers are probably not giving away anything that will be considered.
If they want to go full soap opera with that,
yeah.
It's a long lost twin brother. I think everyone wanted Killian, because after they wasted Mads Mikkelsen as Caecilius as one of the most forgettable villains of the MCU, which is a shame because Doctor Strange is a good movie. It's just Caecilius fucking was lame as a villain. Yeah. They're like, okay, who's the next best guy? And they're like, Cillian Murphy. His face is just villain, so do him.
Yeah. Cillian Murphy wouldn't know anything about it. Like, he doesn't. He's like Christopher Nolan. I think there are 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
His kids tell him stuff because he doesn't really watch TV, or I'm sure he has a smartphone though. But so maybe not quite like Christopher Nolan. But anyway.
What do you mean Cillian is too fucking old looking for Doom? He's a decade younger than RDJ.
Right. That's an invalid argument.
like what? like, I guess maybe he's more wrinkly than RDJ, but I think like Killian, he's not the type of person to like do like all like the Botox and the surgery and the stuff that I assume RDJ does to make himself look pretty good for a 61-year-old. So, you know, I think that's probably why, because if you go to 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which, you know, came out earlier this year, he does have more wrinkles. He's a little more gray, but I think it's just like natural age progression, while RDJ is like actively making himself look young, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you got the money for it and it looks good, then
I mean, all
fine.
of
I mean, RDJ looks 60, like looks, you know, I would say he probably looks like maybe 5-6 years younger. So I mean, it's clearly working, but like Killian, I think maybe looks a few years older, but you know, it's just, yeah, no, he's a good looking. I
think-
mean, the fucking eyes, bro, those blue eyes.
You know what it is? I think Cillian Murphy is one of those guys who looks a little older than he actually is, and that throws people off. That's all it is. But anyway, let's move on beyond this X-Men rumor.
Yes.
So we can talk about Avengers some more.
Yeah.
Well,
or
no, are we doing
Avengers
Vision Quest?
adjacent.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Yes, that's right.
Avengers
Okay.
adjacent. Scarlet Witch was in
Yeah.
Avengers, so it works.
Wait, did you? I think you might have skipped something. There was an Avengers Endgame encore thing.
Yeah, that's what we were just at. This was
Were we?
the encore.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
This-
Never mind. Oh, sorry. That's my
Dan's
bad.
tired, guys. It's okay.
I am
Dan, you're
tired.
tired. You had a big day. It's fine. We're good. Honestly, half the time I'm like, what are we even doing here? So you're good. But Vision Quest showrunner reveals whether Scarlet Witch appears as new rumor promises spoiler cameo. But talking to the, in the
There
latest
it is
issue
again.
of Empire Magazine, Terra Metalis confirmed that Scarlet Witch will not appear in the Disney Plus series. This isn't hugely surprising, but it does somewhat ruin any hopes for a family reunion at the end of the series. You know, Vision knows Wanda's fate. He's watched all the movies, but My Time to Shine has shared a huge rumor about a surprise cameo in Vision Quest. They say that Agatha Harkness will appear and she'll be shown talking to someone, but we don't see who. Maybe
That's
it's
about it.
Doom, maybe it's Scarlet Witch, who knows, but it's My Time to Shine, so take it with a grain of salt.
Maybe it's with her brother, Boner, Ralph Boner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe. I forget who played her husband in WandaVision. Remember, Agatha has like a husband in the show. Like,
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Maybe she's gonna be talking to like Death. Isn't that what what's her name? She was in Parks and Rec. She was in Agatha all along. Anyway. Ralph Boner. Yeah, there it is. Anyway. I knew there was a connection. Okay, cool. I don't think Terry Metalis is giving away any secrets here. And why should he? But I will say, well, Vision Quest is meant to be like the end of an era for MCU shows on Disney Plus, like these big event series. Like moving forward, most of those shows are going to be like more like Daredevil Born Again, which is still good, but it's more like a TV show that's not going to interact a whole lot with the movies. So Vision Quest is the last of that era of shows where you were getting basically movie characters from the MCU, you know, in a show on Disney Plus. So
Right.
but hey, we'll see how it all plays out. Let's move on from Marvel, because John, you got to talk about Tony.
Yes, Tony. Who's Tony? Well, Tony Bourdain, of course. Because I saw the film today. I saw it with my parents, and they were both intrigued with the film, so I ultimately, you know, invited them along, and here we are. Tony, Liz reviewed this a couple days ago, and I always intended on seeing it, so it came out last week, but I didn't have the time last week, so I saw it today before my fucking 4 to 5 day marathon of seeing movies in theaters, because I plan to have a big run of movies. So this one obviously is a you know, the biopic on the early days of Anthony Bourdain before he becomes the man that we know as Anthony Bourdain, just a dipshit fucking asshole writer who wants to make the next big thing, but nothing goes according to plan, and it all just it slowly turns him into the man we would know him as. And with that, I thought it was a phenomenal film. I think I liked it more than Liz did. I thought it's a very, very slow moving film. It's, you know, it's not for, like, if you don't like slow movies, you're not gonna like this, because it is a very much a slow burn kind of movie. Like, if you were expecting, like, Tony, because he goes by Tony throughout most of this throughout most of the film, he's self-destructive, as, you know, Anthony Bourdain said of himself. He was a spoiled, miserable, narcissistic, self-destructive lout who was in need of a good ass-kicking, which opens the film. It's on the poster right there, as you can see. And I think it's definitely one of those intriguing things of, like, you're kind of pulled back and forth of, like, do I root for this guy? Do I not root for this guy? Do I want to see him out okay? I think the only thing, the undercurrent of, like, I kind of want to see him out okay is because you know he is. Well, not in the end, but, like, in terms of going on to bigger and better things of, like, changing that path in life of, like, wanting to be a writer to wanting to become a chef. And he, you know, would go on to work in, you know, various kitchens and various places of substance in regards to that for, like, almost 30 years before he retired in 2002, and then would go on to do a lot of television appearances, and before he tragically took his own life, I think in 2018. And so you don't really get a lot of him, like, cooking until, like, much later on in the film. It's a slow build. It's just, like, it definitely feels like an old school kind of movie, but in the best possible way, where it's this natural buildup of events, where it's not, like, so, like a lot of other biopics where it's, like, so enraptured with we have to show off all these things, we have to do all these things, we have to, you know, show him doing this, show him doing that, like, it's just a movie. Like, it is essentially a movie that has a beginning, middle, and end. It just so happens that the main character is a man that became very famous. But I think Dominic Sessa did a really good job. Yeah, I think he did wonderfully. Emilia Jones did wonderfully, who plays the love interest character. She wasn't in the movie much, but she was very good. Leo Woodall, he plays, like, a good piece of shit kind of character. You think he's, like, this cool, like, charismatic kind of guy, but you kind of realize he's a bit of a piece of shit that kind of fuels the bad side of Tony earlier on in the film. And then you have Antonio Banderas, the chef, that kind of molds him more so into the chef he would become. Not the chef that's seen really in this movie, just the man he would become. So, and then all the other characters, you know, all the smaller characters, I forget his name, but the Greek comedian, the big guy, Stavros something or other, I think that's his name. He does a good job. He's, again, good kind of piece of shit character, but it's mainly, like, it's Tony's movie. That's why it's called that. It's called Tony. So it's very much a slow build, I would say. At some points, it's a little too slow, but it just, like, this is easily one of the best biopics I've ever seen, because it doesn't do every stupid fucking thing that every other biopic does. Like, and I think what helps it is a lot of biopics, like Bohemian Rhapsody or Michael, mainly music biopics, it's where they have this, like, push to, like, show the entire life or decades of their life, when it's like, that's too much. This is just literally a summer of this guy and how he became, like, so, like, in love with cooking. you know, and how he wanted to do that instead of what he initially wanted to do with writing. So I think that's definitely, you know, it's just like it treats itself as a movie, like a good grounded story and character driven film. Like, it doesn't try to do like there's no bait, there's no like, oh, we have to include this, we have to include, it's just a story of like, obviously we're going to include cooking stuff, the thing he's famous for, but it's not like in your face about it where he's just like constantly, he fucks up, he's like, you know, trying to shuck an oyster, he fucking stabs himself in the fucking hand, you know, trying to put out a grease fire, he fucking throws water on it, he makes mistakes. He's an asshole. He kind of, but at a certain point, like, he kind of fucking deserved it, because this is him in his early life where he just habitually lied to everyone. He doesn't care. Like, he lies to pretty much everyone in this movie just to put himself on top, thinking this was the best solution when it really wasn't, when he, you know, learns humility, where he learns like all this stuff, and it's a good build up and payoff. And it's just like, it feels like an old school movie in the best possible way. Like, looking at like this image, this feels like an image from like a 70s like fucking Scorsese movie, or like Sam Peckinpah movie or something like that, where it's just, you know, it just feels old school, but in a modern kind of way. But it's not just like, oh, it's a period piece because it takes place in 1975. It just feels the way it is, it just feels older, and it's just like, these are like the kind of movies you want to be made. This is the second time that Matt Johnson has done a biopic. Prior to this, he did the film Blackberry, which was more of an ensemble piece of like the start, the rise and fall of the Blackberry. So where he himself played a character in that. He also had a film earlier this year based on his old web series, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Which I do plan to watch in a couple months. I have a November catch-up month where I watch all the movies I didn't get a chance to see in theaters, and heard about much later, and oh my god, these are actually really good. So I think that this has so much good in it. I think this is, if you want a movie that doesn't fall into the pitfalls of most biopics, if you like a good slow burn movie, if you like the idea of like watching a movie nowadays that feels like it was done like 20-30 years ago, then I definitely recommend this, because it feels like just everything right. These are the types of movies that should be made, and it's a very well made indie film. I can't really think of anything majorly wrong with it. It's just the slowness can get a bit much. Maybe you could have like edited maybe 5 to 10 minutes out of the movie, but like I feel like that's kind of minuscule. For me personally, I thought I would give Tony like a 9 out of 10. Like, I thought it was very, very well done. I think Sessa, he has a great future ahead of him in film. Definitely a good rising star. He plays like such a great shit-eating bastard in this movie, but like at times when he does have that more like humility, like you see the goodness in him, and you like, those are the parts where you're like, I want to see this guy come out okay, but let's give him a few ass kickings before he gets there, because he fucking more so deserves that. But yeah, I think they all did a great job. Good slow build. These are the movies that should be made, and I highly recommend it. It definitely cracked my top 10. Most definitely. We'll see if it stays there, because there's so many other movies coming out, but I definitely enjoyed this one. So if you like these types of movies, go watch it. It's a biopic that actually deserves your money, unlike Michael, even though I didn't hate Michael, but like, that's very much like dramatized fluff. This feels real. This feels like a real movie. So go watch it. But yeah, that is Tony, Matt Johnson's Tony. So definitely recommend that. But that's it. That's it for Movie Talk Madness. Well, the review side of Movie Talk Madness, because we do have a couple other things. But yeah. So let's move on a
Hey,
bit.
Mark Hatna. Hey, JLM. Everybody in the chat.
But we have a couple other things in regards to bringing back older films and shows. The first one being Miami Vice 85. Apparently, Danny Ramirez has joined the film with Michael B. Jordan, Austin Butler, and the other actors whose names escape me. But yes, that's cool. I like Danny Ramirez. Like,
Hey, the new
I never
Falcon.
watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I heard I heard he was good in that, and then but I've
Well, he
seen him
was
in a
in.
couple other things where he's a good actor. So
You didn't see the Captain America: Brave New World? He's the new Falcon.
yeah, no, I know. I didn't see either.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, we got Nelson in the chat. Hello, Nelson. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, I mean, remember this movie, dude? We were talking about like they've already cast like 5 other roles in this film. Like I forget, we were talking about like a couple of different actresses who also joined earlier in the week. They're like filling this thing up real quick. I think was it Joaquin Torres? Is that the name of his
Well, not
character?
Walken, it's Joaquin, like Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, wait, I think you definitely misspelled something there.
Joaquin. I think that's his
Yeah.
name.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, Danny Ramirez is he was like he's a soccer fan. He was at the MLS All-Star game this year. This aside, that's just a unique fun fact that I would probably know. But anyway, he's got a bunch of other stuff. Isn't he dating? No, isn't he about to like get married to Jessica Alba or something? This guy's winning in life. So
What?
Danny Ramirez is yeah. There's like a 10-year age gap or something, but you know what? Power to him. Yeah, look it up. He's I think either about to get married or there was something about that, like, or they might be engaged. So yeah, Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
In the
Damn.
original Invisible
Okay.
Woman. Yeah,
I thought she was already fucking married. That's why I'm
I
confused.
think she was, but you know, in the past tense, and so that's
Yeah,
been-
she was married to Michael Weatherly for 3 years way back in the early 2000s, and then Cash Warren for about almost 20 years. So
yeah. By the way, what character is he playing? Do we know? Like, I think it's talk about in this article.
But yeah, apparently yeah, all by the way, the other people that joined the cast were Alden Ehrenreich, Camilla Marone, and Whitney Peak. It is
Damn.
unknown who Ramirez is playing in the pick, just like most people in the film. So yeah, good for
Dude,
him.
the film is produced by Dylan Clark. That's and Joseph Kosinski, because Dylan Clark is the guy who produced the first Batman movie. I think he might still be a producer on the Batman too. Yes, no, yeah, Jessica Alba is divorced. But yes, I think I'm forgetting. I don't know if it's like a public. It's pretty serious. Like this Danny Ramirez Jessica Alba relationship thing. Like they went, you know, public on a red carpet earlier this year. I think it was late last year. So anyway. Danny Ramirez is winning in life. He's in the MCU. He's in a relationship with Jessica Alba, and now he's going to be in Heat 2, which is quickly becoming one of the biggest movies in Hollywood right now. I mean, Amazon is not sparing any expense. Because, John, go to the next thing. Because there wasn't just one casting announcement today.
Odessa Young is in talks for the Charlene role, who was played by Ashley Judd in the first film. And allegedly, who Indy Navarrete was going to play.
She turned that down. She was
allegedly. I don't know if this was exactly the role. But...
Yeah, I mean the first Heat movie was all cast, so it makes sense that they're going for like big names. I mean, young names, big names. It's a nice, healthy combination. But yeah, I mean, they reportedly a producer had mentioned that Indy Navarrete was sent a 7-figure offer to join Heat 2, and she turned it down. To obviously, you know, be in the MCU. So I mean, Odessa Young, that what a role to, like, you know, again, hopefully launch her career into the stratosphere. Then Maria Sid is the top choice for the role of Gabby. So there's that too. Yeah, John, your thoughts? Again, it's like the first movie. They're going for, you know, a very healthy mix of young up and coming actors, and then obviously establish A-list superstars. So yeah, I mean, what are your expectations now? Like, so you say Odessa Young, let's say Maria Sid ends up with the role for Gabby, and then if you go back to the previous article, you already got you know, Michael B. Jordan in there, you got Austin Butler in there, and
these are two different movies, man. I don't know. Dan, you must be really tired. Miami Vice 85 and Heat 2 are two very different.
I was thinking about I should have said Leo DiCaprio and Christian Bale. My bad. Leo DiCaprio, Christian Bale. I am
Yeah,
really hyped.
allegedly Adam Driver is joining the cast. So there was that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he officially joined or not though. But yeah,
No,
it's
that's not official yet. That was
yeah, that's
that
not
was a
official.
rumor.
Okay,
It's
I
not.
didn't
No,
think so.
there's no. I mean,
but
he Adam Driver between Mr. Sinister and that, like again, I mean, he's already done so much. So, but yeah.
yeah. But yeah, this is very exciting. Very
Mhm.
cool. Very nice.
Miami Vice 85.
Impressive.
Is that an Apple
Let's see
movie?
Paul Allen's role.
Am I? But John, is that
Um,
an Apple film? Like Miami Vice 85? Like who's producing that one? Like I know the producers, but is that who's like? Is it Miramax? It was It's gotta be. What's the studio behind this thing?
Well, I mean, it was the Miami Vice TV show was Universal, so it might be Yep, Universal.
Okay, wow. I mean, that probably will be one of their biggest movies.
It's like we're getting everything for this, man. Yeah. We got Nolan, we got Kaczynski, we got B. Jordan up in this shit. We're getting all the people, man. Universal is making quite the comeback. You know,
are these so is Heat 2 and Miami Vice also coming out in the same year? Am I that might
85 is coming out in 2028. I don't think Heat 2 has a release date yet because they're kind of still trying to get it off the ground. So
I thought it was farther along than that.
I think it might be 2028, 2029 even. So
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them end up in 2028 because there's still enough time. I mean, the fact that they're casting must mean they're pretty far along. Yeah, I know, Hunter. Sorry, man. I've got a couple of moments like that already on the show. That must mean I'm tired. So
everybody,
don't worry.
Shot.
I'll wake up in time for DCU Daily, which is where we'll be there. We'll be there soon. But yeah, Heat 2 and Miami Vice 85.
Yep.
It is almost like they're not the same thing, John, but it does kind of feel this is probably a bad comparison, but it does kind of feel like White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen kind of a thing. Two very
because I think the way it feels like the way they're going with Miami Vice is like more along the lines of like a bit of the camp of the original 80s show. That's like the vibe is given because the Michael Mann movie. I mean, Michael Mann, I think, directed the pilot way back when, and a couple of episodes here and there for the original Miami Vice. So when he did the movie, it was definitely like a guy who knew it, but people didn't like it. Although it's become like a cult classic now. People hated Miami Vice, the movie at the time, but then people,
the Colin Farrell one. Right.
Yeah. But now it's kind of become a little bit of a cult because apparently a lot of people love it now.
I mean, I watched the show growing up, so I was probably too young to be watching it.
But the thing is, I think the reason that at the time that people didn't like the Michael Mann film was because it was very serious. Like it was not like that kind of cheesy nature that the 80s show kind of was. And it was like, oh my God, this is too self-serious. We don't like this. So, so I feel like they're gonna the fact it's called Miami Vice 85, it definitely feels like they're gonna go for more campy. Well, Heat and to an extent Heat 2, I would assume was definitely way more serious. So I mean maybe the vibe is similar, but I feel like they're still it's just like, oh, they're two crime thrillers. That's kind of the extent.
Yeah.
And like they have all-star casts, but that's kind of it.
So Joseph Kaczynski's directing Miami Vice, right? So
yeah,
that's his.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't end up at Apple.
He has that.
He's got the UFO movie with Jerry Bruckheimer.
UFO movie with Jerry Bruckheimer producing.
Yep.
And then
I think they're making a Top Gun Maverick sequel, so he's probably directing that too.
Well, maybe, who knows? I mean, he might be too busy, but he'll probably try to make it work.
Yeah.
I know he's definitely producing the Maverick.
Yeah. Because like Christopher McQuarrie is working with Tom Cruise on a different project, something at the original.
I have not seen Banshees of Inisherin, but I am excited for Michael McDonough's next movie, Wild Horse 9. That definitely looks really good because I mean I love Sam Rockwell, so that looks really good. Because I got yet another. I swear to God, the trailer I have seen the most this year is for Wild Horse 9. which is like, it's weird. It's a Fox Searchlight movie with like a relatively like small knit cast, but I mean, like, oh, maybe because it's by an Academy Award winning director and like John Malkovich is a pretty big name, but it just, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just like, that's like, I was telling my parents this, I'm like, that's the preview I've gotten. So like, I would, if I could give like a ballpark estimate of like how many times I've gotten that movie for preview for the movies I've seen in theaters, I would say at least 70 to 75% of the movies I've seen the Wild Horse 9 trailer, which I don't mind. It's a good trailer and I'm excited for the movie. It's just like, why is this the one you're fucking pushing so goddamn much? Like,
maybe
all
they're
right,
maybe
like,
they're
sure, I guess.
targeting
I guess they're
you,
really
John.
pushing for an Oscar campaign or something
Yeah.
because 3 Billboards and Banshees of Inisherin both not got nominated. So I don't know.
I mean, it's Searchlight. That definitely feels like the right angle in terms of what they'll be trying to do. So
Yeah, I mean, I've heard mixed things. I know some people that fucking absolutely loved it, and then I know some people that absolutely fucking hated it. So it's kind of like a weird mixed thing. But I heard more positivity for his other film, Billboards. So, you know, whatever. But enough talking about Colin.
Great movie, by the way.
Got to mix the flavors though.
Amazing.
But with all of that, let's go to quick hit time, because it is indeed the quick hit time. I told you that the news was kind of short. Anyway, let's get into these quick hits. The first thing is that The Odyssey is crossing the $1.5 billion mark at the box office this coming weekend, beating Furious 7 to become Universal's second biggest movie ever. Thank God.
I know that makes a lot of people happy.
Yeah, fuck you, Fast and Furious. Eat my balls.
Now, the only movie that it's above it is Jurassic World.
Yes. Coyote vs. Acme cast and crew held a funeral screening after the movie was shelved. Was emotional in so many ways. I mean, if you thought like this movie was never gonna get fucking released, it's like, yeah, that fucking makes sense, bro.
Which
like,
I'm sure that makes the movie coming out in theaters very cathartic for those folks, and rightfully so. So yeah.
Yep.
A victory lap.
Yes. GTA 6 drops 27 minutes of new in-game footage on Netflix amid ongoing Rockstar Games leaks. I didn't get a chance to see this, but pretty much the widespread reaction of, yep, that's a GTA game.
Yeah, no, I saw some of the footage, and that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, oh yeah,
it's
no,
like literally, it's like what you fucking expect in GTA.
Like,
it's like literally the same plot of every GTA game ever, with better graphics. Like that's
exactly.
You know,
there's an incremental improvement in graphics, but like
yeah,
I mean, like,
essentially,
okay.
it's like, okay, cool, we can see the fucking, you know, ass hairs on fucking Lucia's ass. Like, great. We see gyrating in fucking 8K. Cool, great. I'll just play GTA Online for the next 10 years because, I mean, I like GTA. It's fun, but it's just like I can like play like every GTA game with worse and worse graphics, and honestly, the gameplay is probably better, and it's just not as extensive. It's like, okay, not as extensive. The maps aren't as big. Okay, boo-hoo. But it's just like, they're probably better games anyway. But yeah, it's just like, the day I start caring about Rockstar games is the day they make Bully 2, because that's all I fucking care about. They can drop Red Dead 3, Bully, but Bully is the one I care about. They can drop everything else, GTA, Red Dead, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. Give me Bully, baby. Give me Bully. Bully. I want to see the return of Jimmy. God damn it. So this means nothing to me. Anyway. But Avengers Secret Wars officially commences production in the UK, and filming is already on hiatus. So according to Daniel Rickman and My Time to Shine, apparently Doomsday
I covered this
reshoots.
the other day. I just want to mention, so I covered this the other day. We were talking about how there's that production website in the UK that was showing that the production is on hiatus for like 5 weeks or something like that. Or yeah, basically the idea is they were doing some pre-production on Avengers Secret Wars, and then they paused work on it because they're going to pick things up in like September. And the reason why is because currently they're focused on Avengers Doomsday reshoots, so they're really not going to start production proper on Secret Wars until Doomsday reshoots are done. So
yes,
yeah, which makes all the sense in the world. I think it all adds up. Like I was mentioning, the Russos are working with Alan Silvestri on the score and soundtrack of the movie, so that must mean they're pretty close to being done, and then whatever reshoots they're doing are probably just to like shore up the last bits of changes they want to make. So, or maybe like adding a few extra cameos, you know, like maybe the X-Men cast or stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway.
Cool. I guess. Whatever. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle sequel is releasing on July 2027, according to rumors coming from Japan. North American release is expected to come shortly after. That's expected. Gal Gadot says she has not spoken to James Gunn or DC Studios about becoming Wonder Woman again, but in terms of who the next person will be, whoever that is, she says, so whoever is going to portray her, I wish for her that she enjoys this amazing ride with this amazing character. So,
by the way, this kind of runs to what she said before, where she said she had spoken to James Gunn, Peter Safran, or maybe she meant like she hasn't spoken to him recently. So,
yeah,
I don't think Gal Gadot is gonna come back.
No.
I think they're gonna want a clean slate start, but yeah,
with the exception of like Peacemaker and Blue Beetle and.
Well, but I mean more specifically the Wonder Woman character want to do a fresh, clean slate start. But look, honestly, I'm kind of one of those. I'm somebody who thinks that she did a pretty decent job with what she was given, despite her acting limitations, let's call them. And I'm okay with going in a different direction because you want to have it line up with the new cinematic universe. She was such a central part of the DCEU. It's probably just going to create confusion, even if they were wanting to bring her back. So it's kind of like, you know, bring Henry Cavill back and then say that everything from the DCEU is not canon anymore. You know, like it's like you don't bring back like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine without addressing that, you know, he's from the Fox X-Men universe, which is what they did in the Deadpool Wolverine. So, but yeah, Gal Gadot. Do you pronounce the T? I thought it was anyway.
Yeah, no, it is Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's because I remember heard her saying in an interview, "Oh, hello, my name is Gal Gadot," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that," so that's why I've been.
I thought well, you know what? I apologize, Gal Gadot. Hopefully she'll have other roles that she could pick. She has been a bit of a
she'll be in every generic Netflix action movie for the next 10 years until she like blows out a knee or something.
By the way, for Demon Slayer, just wanted to mention that previous Demon Slayer movie outperformed Superman, all the Marvel movies last year, as well as F1 at the box office. So I can only wonder what the sequel is gonna do. So good luck to Demon Slayer. Yeah.
And the fact that it's coming out in July, which is around the time Superman comes out. Interesting. Anyway, so Batmobile stuff, which we're gonna get into later, but cool.
This is
great.
John. This is called a tease. We have more Batmobile action later in DCU Daily, but it does look like they were doing some more heavy-duty stunts today in the same set in Glasgow. So, yeah.
Yep. But Stephen King's London set horror story Crouch End getting Prime Video adaptation. Cool.
Nice. I thought you might like it. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it turns out.
Furious got renewed for a season 2 at Hulu. I think my parents watch this show.
I heard about this. I haven't started it yet, but the premise sounds really fun. It almost sounds like that show. What was that one with Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer?
Killing Eve.
Killing Eve. Kinda like it's at a very surface level without having seen it. I'm making that comparison. But if you guys have seen, I mean, the finale is about to air, I think, either this week or next week. So the renewal comes just in time. They'll probably the writer's room is probably already up and running. So, yeah. Amy Rossum is the lead.
The show. Wheel of Time creator Rafe Judkins signs Paramount TV Studios overall deal. So now we're getting more garbage shows from this fool. So, nice.
I mean, Wheel of Time is a franchise that doesn't have a home anymore, but or you know, Amazon certainly doesn't want what they had. But Paramount
like,
needs
we're gonna do this thing,
names.
and then every Wheel of Time fan was like, "This sucks ass," and they're like, "Bet," and then eventually they cancel it. So.
I think this is good for Paramount though, because they've got a big name producer creator who might end up doing more things for them because they need to be pushing out stuff to make money to pay down their debt. So yeah, at that level it's good. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know if he's Game of Thrones creators kind of a person who he only has one good thing to his resume. So
right. Star Trek 60th anniversary events include original series and film screenings. Vulcan Salute World Record Attempt. Dan, do you want to attempt that?
I was kind of confused by the world record attempt because it implied that you would all need to be like in the UK. They are doing a bunch of stuff here. The 60th anniversary, of course, would be, I think it's September 8th, 2026 is 60 years to the day that the original Star Trek show premiered in 1966. And yeah, I mean, they're actually, so for the movies, they're doing a bunch of stuff where they're pairing up episodes from the shows, the various shows, like the original series episode, The Man Trap, and then they're gonna also do a screening of Strange New Worlds finale, which is gonna happen around the same time, like not the series finale, but the current season finale of Strange New Worlds. Those will be screened at the Autry Museum in Los Angeles, and then I think as far as if you want to go to a movie theater, there's 750 movie theaters that will be playing 4K restorations of the classic Star Trek film. So I'm guessing like the original series cast, which they will pair up with the original series episodes. And so 750 theaters, that's probably a pretty wide spread across the country. September 4th to the September 8th, you'll be able to go see a Star Trek episode from the original series paired up with one of the movies. And then, yeah, on TV, Entertainment Tonight is going to air a special ET Vault Unlocked episode on September 7th. Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal will both have Star Trek specials. Nick at Night will do a Big Bang Theory marathon focused on Star Trek episodes. And then the history part, the world record thing, at the Science Museum in London, they say on September 8th, fans can join the attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the most people performing the Vulcan salute simultaneously. I don't know if that means like the world's biggest Zoom call ever, but yeah. So there's a bunch of that stuff. There's a movie park Germany celebration, and you can read the rest of this article. There's the one cool thing that I want to mention though is the European Space Agency is going to do a special broadcast from the International Space Station, where their astronaut Sophie Adonaut is going to put on the captain's Delta badge from Star Trek Strange New Worlds aboard the International Space Station, and they'll do some special content from there. So she's been up there since February this year. So a lot of cool stuff. If you're a Trekkie, September 8th is the day to look for all this stuff. But yeah, there you go. Now I'm done.
Anyway, but yeah, apparently Top Gear is to return, BBC confirms.
Yeah, so the creator or one of the producers at BBC announced this. They didn't announce any of the cast members. The previous iteration was put on ice because one of the cast members injured themselves pretty badly doing a stunt on one of the episodes. But recently, I remember I talked about like the Grand Tour is coming back with like a younger version of the cast, which is basically like they're all the same like stereotypes of the cast of the original Grand Tour show with Jeremy Clarkson and so on. So the BBC is like, well, we'll bring back Top Gear, but they haven't announced the cast for it, so I don't know what this is gonna look like. But yeah. Anyway,
I don't know why Figure Drawing hates Top Gear so much, but
I think he hates the new versions without Jeremy Clarkson and crew. That's why.
Right. Okay.
Unless
Tyler
he doesn't.
Perry's Divorced Sisters and Zatima among four former BET Plus series renewed by Paramount Plus. So
BET Plus basically got absorbed by Paramount Plus recently, and
yes,
so
I remember us talking about that. Yeah.
That they're doing this, but you know what? Divorced Sisters and Zatima, The Black Hamptons, and Family Business sound like great shows if you are into them. It's not. You and I are probably not the target audience, but
yes, we are not. Our melanin levels are not quite there to enjoy these certain series, but that's okay.
Well, not that you need to be black to enjoy the shows.
Not that you need to. You know, it's just
a couple.
like
yeah, I mean, but it's good for again Paramount Plus filling out their library, because you would wonder like what would happen to the development slate at BET Plus once it gets absorbed into Paramount Plus. Usually, what happens is you cut down on things, but Paramount obviously is like, we're gonna want all these shows because they have a dedicated audience. So
right,
yeah.
But next up, Dolly Parton big screen retrospective being held at AMC theaters. So if you wanted to pay your respects, rewatch or watch some films you have or have not seen, then by all means.
Yeah, I think among the movies that will be coming back to theaters will be Steel Magnolias, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and yeah, I mean Liz was sending you a link for this before the show started, saying you gotta go watch some of these in theaters. Yeah. So what are the details? Like, what's the lowdown on this?
It's
Friday
playing a retrospective of multi-hyphenate showing of two of her movies, Steel Magnolias and
So it's gonna be
Best
from
local
this
releases.
Friday till September 2nd. So September 2nd, I want to say is Wednesday next week. So you have from this Friday till
God,
Wednesday
that's
next
next
week.
week.
To go see this.
Jesus Christ, that feels so weird. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's September already. Holy
Mhm.
fuck. Anyway.
So if you want to see those two movies back in theaters with Dolly Parton, then you have a few days to do that. To go this week.
CBS plans Entertainment Tonight prime time special paying tribute to Dolly Parton. So
Yeah,
remember a bunch of
and-
these were announced.
Exactly. NBC and ABC are also doing specials. I think NBC is doing one on Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, all three of the big networks. I don't know. Well, other than Fox, well, that would make it 4. But like NBC, CBS, and ABC are all doing primetime specials. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, where are you, Monique? Like, whereabouts are you? I mean, the AMCs are pretty much everywhere for the most part. Maybe some of the other theater chains will announce stuff too. So.
And then last but certainly not least, apparently the Kingsguard played 9 to 5 outside of Buckingham Palace.
And this is the cool. I saw this really early in the day, and I just like it made me smile because it starts out a bit slow, but once you hit like the chorus, and you're like, okay, this is awesome, this is great. Like I would have loved to be like standing outside the fence and just watching them perform this, and the camera just standing there filming it, or multiple cameras. It's like it's really cool.
I don't know if this would be against copyright infringement. I don't know if the UK is
probably
gonna sue us
not,
for
but
this,
anyway, we'll.
I mean, not like you can hear the song,
keep the
but
sound off. Yeah, it's fine.
Sound off. Anyway, that's it.
You
That's
could
it for
just
the
hum
quick hits.
it like 9, 2, 5, and
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
There we go.
But there it is.
You get the idea.
It's
Northern Nevada, Cinemark and Galaxy are the only big dogs here. Oh, okay. Well, maybe Cinemark might do something. I don't know about Galaxy so much because they're not really out on the East Coast. But I have a Cinemark membership. I mean, they tend to do stuff.
slurred or mocked. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
was trying to be complimentary without actually making a fool of myself. But thank you for drawing. Real spicy today. Let's move on.
But yes, let's be blessed, guys. Let's be truly blessed.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
Hello, everyone. We are here with the news of the DC kind. Not Washington, D.C., but the D.C. people actually care about. Although both are embarrassing right now. So, that's just how it is.
It's not that bad.
But yeah, here we are talking about DC news. Dan, what are you
Hello.
excited to talk about today? Are you excited to talk about the Batman Part 2 extensively
I was
breaking
gonna
down
say,
the same video 10
I was
times?
gonna say, it's not the same video 10 times, but sure. DCU. I'm also excited to talk about the DCU Batman. We have a couple of updates.
A little smidge.
It's more than a smidge because I'm sure we'll have an interesting conversation about it. But yeah, and then Lanterns. I'm gonna be here on Sunday watching episode 3 with you guys. So and reviewing it after. So. Talking a little bit more about what episode 3 will feature, and we have a new clip from Lanterns that landed on social media. I think it was
that wasn't the only
Jimmy
thing that
Kimmel.
was landing.
Okay. There was basically
Guy Gardner lands in the clip.
I know. Well, Zoe was landing on Jon Stewart's lap in episode 1. Anyway.
Yeah. That BBC.
Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion was on Jimmy Kimmel, and that's where the clip dropped. Previous night. So.
But let's not ignore the most the people that go through so much terribleness through every day with bird blindness. We got to talk about the quick hits, of course. The first thing was something James Gunn related. He was on Grave Conversations with David Dastmalchian. Again,
this is from an older episode, but
maybe it is an older episode. Okay, whatever it is, because I remember he was like talking about. Like, oh, Matthew Lillard's a bitch, like sarcastically, of course, because Matthew Lillard is a good friend of his. So he was just essentially talking about like heroes in the DCU and like, you know, that kind of thing, like the hope of.
It's also like he kind of talks about it in a way that you don't often hear from him, because he kind of goes into saying that it's not so much when he thinks about Superman, it's not so much about even the idea of hopefulness. It's so much as it is the idea that Superman is like is kind. He just wants to be kind. So kindness is really more so what he associates with Superman in his mind, and the hope and the hopefulness part kind of is more of a like a manifestation, or like what comes out of that kindness. So Superman's kindness creates hope, is I think in a manner of speaking what James Gunn was trying to say.
Yeah. I think this is from an older episode, because I know he was on Grave Conversations.
Yeah.
Way back when, but
if you haven't seen the episode,
this probably got reposted.
This might be like this is a good reminder to go see it, because it's a great episode of a lot of like insights into the way James Gunn thinks about these things, working on these movies and TV shows. So
yeah. But then we go. This was a behind the scenes for a
postcards from Rushville to Coast City.
From Rushville to Coast City, where will their
it's awesome that was that shit was not completely animated. Like Earl was partly like a prop. I mean, that also the wire work there is pretty cool.
I do like this is good wire work. This is good, like you know, again the thing is that works because that's the kind of show that this is. Like there's
and
not a lot
that
of
farm
like,
also, dude. That looks like there's like that's not all looking the same as it in the anyway. Yes, no, but it looks like they do a lot of invisible VFX that we haven't noticed.
Yeah, good wire work. Good, you know, it's like it makes sense. It would be weird to be constantly using CGI for a show that takes place mainly on Earth. Not a lot of power stuff, all that.
Yeah.
So
there's more VFX in there than people might notice, is the point, I think. And it's done very well, which is why it's like seemingly invisible, because it kind of blends into the scene and the settings. I was recently watching one about Star City, and like there were like a couple of sets where they were like, oh my god, half of that shit was not real. But it's like, you know, like I know it was a it was a DNEG double negative VFX company did their so yeah, Star City on Apple TV. But anyway, the suit looks green.
Yeah, it looks green. It looks like someone took a shit on it, but yeah, it's still green.
It definitely feels like it's been dragged through the mud, literally a lot.
Literally dragged through.
I will say, like in this particular angle, if you click on the image, so we can kind of zoom into it a little bit more, we get more of the color. I will say the suit definitely, if you can imagine somebody took a power hose to this, that there's a lot more green and white to it, like almost like some of the illustrations we have seen, whether they're official or fan art illustrations. It almost reminds me of the time traveling suits from the Avengers Endgame, in terms of
a little
the design,
bit like that
like
kind of wingspan kind of
and
look.
Like yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's so I feel like we might get a look at this suit that is not roughed up at some point, and
yeah, I mean, we've
like
gotten it on the news like that. Remember when John Senior's shooting the TV?
But even that was like in a filter for like the TV effect. So like I feel like I want a clean look at it, but I guess we'll see. Yeah.
But,
and it's a good fit the way that we see it. Yeah.
But Dennis Haysbert, are you in good hands? Was talking about how
also Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
How he wants to play Kilowog.
No, he did play Kilowog.
No, he did. No, I know he did, but he wants to play them in live action because he already played them.
Like, no, I think he wanted to play Jon Stewart, because he mentioned that like I saw the show Lanterns, and it's one of his favorite shows right now. He's like, they do it grounded, and I love what they're doing with it, but he wishes that he got a chance to do it, but he's like, now they have done it, so like it's too late for me. And also he's probably a bit too old, but he wanted the idea. He liked the idea of being able to play Jon Stewart once upon a time, which I'm like, yeah, he's got the voice for it.
I mean, I still think he could definitely, like, if they want to bring Kilowog in, he could definitely.
I mean, yeah, he did voice that in the animated. Was it the DCAU?
It was, like I think it was the DCAU.
Yeah.
So
he could be a Guardian. He could definitely be a Guardian. Dude, he would have made one hell of a Jon Stewart in the early 2000s when like the Justice League Unlimited show was on, or like just the OG Justice League show was on. He could be a Martian Manhunter. I like that comment.
No, fucking bring Common back. He should get another shot at Jon Stewart.
Dude, watching Common and Silo is like, I'm just like, yeah, Common has only one tone of voice, and it doesn't matter what he's saying. He somehow ends up making his point in emoting without changing his tone of voice. And that's Common's true talent is he says everything in the same tone of voice, and yet you feel like he's emoting, which is wild to me. You know, it's like he changes how slowly and how fast he talks. Like, if you haven't seen Silo, right, John? But like, if you watch Silo, it's I mean, he could play Lucius Fox too. But yeah, I mean, Dennis Haysbert. You have seen him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right? There's that one episode where he comes in. It's it's like Captain Holt, and then there's a twist. Anyway, I won't go into it. Like Keanu Reeves struck. Iron Woke Jan, goated food manga. I know, dude. This looks like a lot of fun. It's definitely a red label trailer. So, yeah, this happened like during the afternoon hours today, and I was like, oh, what is this? I didn't hear about this until today, and I'm like, oh, this looks violent as hell, like Caleb said. So
no, this is not DCU. This is like it was based on a Vertigo graphic novel. So
if you skip to the end, I think they're also releasing like some kind of tie-in comic or something. So like, or maybe a little further back. Or no, this is the original comic. Okay, so like they're reprinting.
So you can like go watch it, you know, or go read it on DC Universe and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Cool, awesome.
Yeah. But speaking of the late great Tim Curry, these were released a long time ago, but they're getting reposted now after his death. Was that Tim Curry was he was one of the many people that were on the short list to play the Joker in Batman the Animated Series. I listened to these a long time ago, and I will say I love Tim Curry. The way he sounds here just feels wrong. Like, I think maybe because Mark Hamill is so iconic in that role that anybody else sounds here, but it just sounds like he kind of sounds a little too goofy, which is funny because the rumor was he was not set to play the Joker because he was too scary. It was considered too scary for kids.
Well, I think it's probably just the voice direction he was given. Like
it's just the way he sounds in these clips just doesn't sounds kind of stupid. Not gonna lie, he just doesn't sound good.
I mean, a good point to make is that Tim Curry, this he was kind of considered before, or like he voiced the character before Mark Hamill, but obviously Mark Hamill's kind of made that his own. So at this point, but
Tim Curry was like, he did like a couple recording sessions, and then they ultimately decided not to go with him, and then they went with Mark Hamill instead. So
hey, Stacy, who's your favorite actor? Oh, that's a loaded question.
Right off the top of my head, Sam Rockwell, maybe Bruce Campbell.
I feel like that's like it changes by like right now for me, my favorite actor is Ryan Gosling. But maybe that will change over time. So, and you probably would have gotten a different answer a year ago. But yeah, let's keep going.
But next up, Iron Brew
has
responded to reports that
you gotta say it like a Scottish person.
Keep sneaking cans onto the set of the Batman Part 2. Just stick up the bat signal and make sure there's some Iron Brew for his utility.
I like that they're getting in on this. Like they're capitalizing on the publicity, essentially free publicity for Iron Brew. I hope I'm not butchering the accent. Probably am. I should ask Fiona and her mom about that. But anyway, people seem to keep sneaking Iron Brew on just leaving them or sitting around, so they hope that like we get a Starbucks moment. Although they could probably just easily VFX paint it out of the shot. But yeah. Have you had Iron Brew before? Like it's
why the fuck would I have Iron Brew? I live in America.
I don't know. Like, I'm just saying I don't think it's really readily available in the US, but this is, I mean, obviously the
Iron Brew is like it's just like a weird beverage. It's like kind of a soda, but like also not really a soda. And
Iron Brew.
Scottish people like say it's like the best hangover cure or something like that. But
is it orange flavor? It's orange looking. I have had it before. It's a soda basically, or a soft drink if you're European. But yeah, I want to say it tastes kind of like orangey. I mean, like, it's definitely better than like American Fanta. Like, the European Fanta is better than American Fanta because
even I remember I tried Fanta.
It actually tastes like orange. Yeah, like it tastes
essentially tastes like Orangina without the pulp.
Exactly.
And maybe a little bit more orangey. But that's essentially what it tastes like.
Iron Brew is basically the most famous soda or soft drink or soda pop, or to come out of it's a Scottish
Scotland.
drink. Yeah, from Scotland. It's an original recipe from Scotland, and I don't know if it's a family-owned business still, but yeah. Flintstone Vitamin Enhanced Sunkist Soda. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's good. If you go to the UK, like I'm sure you can find it at a convenience store, grocery store. So, yeah.
So Brandon Katz was saying, Clayface tracking at 57 days out, awareness lagging for film comp set at similar pre-release point, 32 versus 38 average, but opening weekend intent is nearly 2 times higher, 21 versus 11 per Greenlight Analytics. Small audience, unusually locked in. Desire is there. It just needs more reach.
So let me translate this into layman terms. Now, 57 days out, you're about 2 months away from the movie.
Yep.
So the awareness for this film, according to Greenlight Analytics, which is one of the go-to firms for Hollywood studios that they use for like helping with their marketing insights and whatnot. Now, Brandon Katz works at Greenlight Analytics, so he's reporting for them, saying that about 2 months out from the movie releasing, there's the 4 direct comparisons that they would make for this movie in terms of the box office. They didn't list out the 4 movies here, but there's the 4 other movies that were close comparisons. And they're saying versus those movies, Clayface's awareness of 57 days from release is about 6 percentage points lower than those other 4 comparisons. Now, that's not terrible. And also, it's 2 months out, the marketing campaign hasn't really picked up as much as it will the closer we get. They're also saying that the intent is about 2 times higher, meaning the intent to go see the movie by those people who are aware of this is twice as high as those other 4 comparative movies that they're the comps that they have. So 21% versus 11%. So basically what that means is while the audience for this may be small, they're incredibly locked in and very passionate, very aware. So the desire is there, but they're saying that maybe DC and Warner Brothers want to probably increase the pool of people that are aware of the movie. Basically, they probably want to grow the reach that they have. Now, if you scroll down, there was a follow-up that Brandon Katz posted to, like, again, basically kind of tell us what I was talking about. So he said, to be clear, just I don't need to see Speed. Like, we could scroll past his stupid face, but even though he's a Man United fan, but like Brendan Katz kind of said, to be clear, I'm not knocking Warner Brothers. Most wide release promotional campaigns kick in at 6 weeks pre-release. That's what I was saying earlier. So around 6 weeks before the movie comes out is when really the marketing starts to pick up. So 57 days, you're still a couple of weeks away from that starting. And then Brandon said with the bulk of the spend on the marketing usually happens within the last 3 weeks before the movie comes out. Although it varies from studio to studio and film to film, sharing the long lead comp tracking patterns is useful for, I'm sure, the studio, but in terms of what it says about the movie itself, I think as DC ramps up the marketing campaign in the next, starting in a couple of weeks' time, then let's say we're a month out, we'll take a look at these numbers and see how much they've improved. But the good part of this is, while there is a smaller audience that is aware of this movie, they are a very passionate bunch. And the hope is that that passionate bunch grows so that the opening weekend could be bigger and the box office could do well. But I'm sure like good reviews and a good marketing campaign will help with that.
And the thing is, it doesn't need as much money.
Yeah. It's a lower bar to clear, like to be
successful. It could, like, if it makes the same exact money as Supergirl, that's like in the realm of like profitability.
Exactly.
Unlike
and
Supergirl.
Exactly. And then to your question, Jalen, Brandon Katz is the director of insights and content strategy at Greenlight Analytics, the firm that actually reported the numbers. So he is reliable. He is the source. Like, this is not like some third party coming up with, numbers out of their ass or a scooper. He works for this firm that does the research and it's reporting. So, but yeah, we got one more thing, John. We have a People versus Gorilla Grodd casting update potentially.
But apparently Arian Moayed is playing Metropolis DA Ray Sachs from the Smallville show.
Yeah.
So
coming from APOC Horseman,
who's usually very good. APOC Horseman is usually very, very good about.
And then he followed up. I think this was a follow up to what he said earlier. If you scroll down, he said,
"Confirmed this will be a trial for Grodd. I'm hearing Arian Moayed will be the prosecutor that Grodd is up against."
So it looks like Arian Moayed, who was in Smallville, is gonna get again. If this turns out to be true, he's gonna get cast as Metropolis DA Ray Sachs. So he's essentially returning to the DC world. Not sure if he's gonna play. I don't think that was his character in the Smallville show, but having him back in the
he was in Wonder Man.
Role
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was he in Wonder Man? maybe I forget. I have to rewatch it to look for him. But
He was.
yeah.
I think he was the Oh, what's his name? He was the Cleary, the guy that Trevor Slattery was like with. Like he was the guy at DODC.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, but yeah, I mean, hey, that means we have our first new cast potentially until this is confirmed for the People versus Gorilla Grodd show. This is good. We know that Ray Sachs will, the character Ray Sachs, the Metropolis DA, will be in there, probably like doing interviews and talking about the case, because this is meant to be more like a documentary that they're making, right? Like a true crime thing. So
Right.
cool. I mean, again, maybe this makes it more likely we get other Smallville actors returning in the DCU. You know, a certain Lex Luthor actor might be back down the road. Again, this is just I don't know anything. I'm just speculating. So, but speaking of Superman, though, John, we got to talk about Man of Tomorrow and Adria Arjona. Yeah, she was I think she was being interviewed by Screen Rant, and yeah, she had some fun stuff to say, and she's very excited about the movie, which is wrapped production. So
yes, you know, she says, I'll point it here because it's a little bit easier to see.
Yeah.
Well,
why don't you just click into the photo so we can see it nice and large?
Well, calm down. Adria Arjona can't say who she's playing in Man of Tomorrow, but she did tease the physical prep. I have muscles that I've never had in my life. I'm training 2 to 3 hours a day on a crazy diet. Drinking coffee is the only thing that keeps me up, and I'm really excited.
Yep. Yeah. I think there was a little bit more to her full quote, but she was again mentioning how James Gunn, Peter Safran really gave her first break, like her first movie, and you know, it feels really effing cool and really exciting to reunite with that team and to be in that family, and that's all I'm gonna tell you. So, yeah, which is fair. She doesn't need to give anything else away. So
that is true.
I mean, whether she's Wonder Woman or Maxima is still a question that hasn't been answered, John. It's still a question that has not been answered. So I don't know. Jalen, yeah, there you go, Jalen. Here's one for you. I see. I bring the goods for Jalen. But yeah, my sweet Millie, you have competition today. Hey, you're fake. I really hope she's not Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman should not debut another heroes film again. And Jalen is like, bro, she's Wonder Woman.
The dichotomy of man.
The dichotomy of man.
But that's not the only thing. Apparently, your boy posted a picture of cinematographer Sam McCurdy on the final day of filming for Man of Tomorrow, still on that Salvation-esque
looking set. Yeah.
Although this person is very happy because there's no Henry Brahms, who I don't think did a terrible job with the first movie.
I thought he did it. He's also worked with James Gunn on like the Guardians movies, so James Gunn had a very good rapport with him. But I mean, maybe scheduling conflicts or whatever.
What the fuck are you talking about, Marquette?
Laws in Pokemon, Batman. Okay, Jalen, we have moved past the Adria part of the show, but I'm glad that you'll be able to rewind and rewind again. So, Man of Tomorrow, whether she's playing Wonder Woman or Maxima, I'm sure we'll find out. If the trailer drops, the teaser trailer in December, John, then we are T-4 maybe months away, 5, maybe 4 and some change away from finding out whether she's in the movie as Wonder Woman or Maxima. And I'm sure that there'll probably be posters and everything after that. So, yeah, let's keep it going though, because we are past Man of Tomorrow. Let's talk about the DCU Batman. We have a couple.
Not the Batman.
Well,
DCU
the DCU,
Batman.
the Brave and the Bold.
This is coming from our least favorite prick on YouTube, Jeff Snyder, but apparently he's saying that Brave and the Bold is reportedly further along than people think. DC Studios eyeing a 2027 production start.
Yeah.
And I will just say, press X to doubt.
So on his latest like YouTube podcast, he was talking about, I think John Roca was also on with him, which we will talk about later in a second. But they were saying that, yeah, the movie might be further along than we are being led to believe. That maybe that means the script is closer to being ready than we were led to believe, because that would mean they could go into pre-production toward the end of the year, and that probably would mean they'd be starting production in 2027. Which, look, it's Jeff Snyder. He gets things wrong and right. So if they do start filming in 2027, however, John, Hey, D. Cole again. I would imagine a 2028 release date probably still doesn't happen because you already have the Batman coming out the same year. So I would say that's maybe is a reason why maybe 2027's production start date might be more of a rumor than it is a fact. But there is a timeline where they could start filming it in 2027 and then, you know, give it a, let's say, a March 2029 release date. You could certainly do that. Take your time with it. Or if you start filming late 2027, then that would line up with like a summer 2029 release date. So, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if it is true, John, this is what we want. We want a Wonder Woman movie in production, probably. If they go into production early next year or by the end of this year, they could turn it around for a summer 2028 release date. Maybe spread it out from Dynamic Duo, but put it out there in 2028. And then I think the only reason why I can think of the not releasing the DCU Batman movie in 2028 would be because you already have another Batman film the same year. But there's no written rule against that, so I suppose you will see if James Gunn would want to do it. But if it turns out to be true, why not? This would be good news now. Like, we're finally getting some updates that this thing might move along. Because if they are going to start filming in 2027, that also probably means we might find out who's going to play Batman by the end of the year, which was another rumor that I think Jeff Snyder was saying earlier this year, that they might cast Batman by the end of the year. So, yeah, MPG, exactly. And then Deathstroke and Bane is another project, so we'll see if that... It would be nice if they put out Deathstroke and Bane and Batman Brave and the Bold in 2029, same year, like 2 Batman movies in the same continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is true that releasing a Batman movie 3 to 4 years after your cinematic universe starts is not a good sign, but you know, here we are.
But hey, at least we're actually getting a Batman movie, unlike the DCEU. So
well, the DCU, but not the EU.
No, EU, because we never got a Batman movie technically.
Like a solo one, yes, you're right. Better than the DCEU. That's a step forward.
But apparently a big rumor is that the Flash director Andy Muschietti is not doing Batman the Brave and the Bold. So when the news broke that Muschietti had been chosen to helm the project, this is
an old statement by James Gunn talking about how like
all this shit, and I'm not fucking reading that.
Flash.
Again, this is from John Roca, as Dan said. The Andy Muschietti thing, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. As I said almost 2 years ago, he is not on this project. From my sources who are still connected to WB and DC, he is not doing the Brave and the Bold. World of
Real piled on,
who is also very untrustworthy in regards to their news. Also heard that Gunn might be considering taking the helm himself. Christina Hodson wrote the latest draft of Brave and the Bold, and I keep hearing that Gunn is actually considering replacing Muschietti with himself. Yes, Gunn is apparently tempted to direct the DCU's Batman movie after helming the first 2 Superman films. Might as well take this ship down while you're fully at the wheel. All right,
yeah, I mean, I guess more of a biased opinion than just straight up reporting, but look, again, John Roca was on the same show with Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic. Both of those guys have gotten things wrong before, so again, take it with a big grain of salt, but if any of these turn out to be true, then I guess that would be a big deal. But John, for them,
I don't think this is true, because James Gunn literally recently said, we just talked about that a couple days ago, where somebody was going to go for.
I was going to say exactly that. Yeah.
What were we talking about?
So it wasn't James Gunn who said it. It was, I think, not even Peter Safran, but
it was some guy who wasn't a scooper. He had a conversation with Andy Muschietti,
walking
Spanish,
out of a
Portuguese,
movie theater,
whatever he speaks, I forget.
Him and his brother were walking out of a movie theater. They ran into Andy Muschietti. They had a conversation in Spanish, and Andy Muschietti was like, "Well, I don't know. It seems like maybe the movie is going to be on hold until after the merger goes through," which again, they said might be imperfect translation, and also Andy Muschietti probably not giving away any real secrets to random dudes he walked into.
And then on top of the fact, James Gunn replied to that saying that doesn't sound like something Muschietti would say. This is still, it's not on hold, but he heavily implied that Muschietti is still on the project, and that gentleman talked to Muschietti a week or so ago. So I'm willing to believe that Muschietti, even though I don't like it, I do think Muschietti is still on the project along with Hodson. So yeah, I think this is bullshit.
Here's a TLDR of this, where this rumor I think comes from is James Gunn has been very heavy-handed in terms of his involvement on the Batman Brave and the Bold script with Christina Hodson. He even said a year ago that they had sort of like started over from scratch almost, because they couldn't really figure out what the original idea was going to be, or like that wasn't working for them. And so it's almost like, I mean, he implied that they did like a page one rewrite with Christina Hodson, and that might have changed a few things with regard to Damian Wayne being in the movie or what role he's going to play in the movie. There have been then rumors that were piggybacking off that, saying that maybe they're going to go with a 50-year-old Batman, potentially not in his 30s, but James Gunn was very dismissive of that and not being very specific. And now I think recently it was an article talking about when David Ellison visited the set of Man of Tomorrow in the UK. One of the producers, that's not Peter Safran, who works on these movies, we're talking about how they already know what the plans are for the sequel to Man of Tomorrow, and that, you know, Millie Alcock is going to be a big part of it, and obviously Superman's going to be a part of it. And so the presumption is that James Gunn will direct that, which is why I don't think he's going to take on Batman, because then you can't do a DCU Batman movie and then also be doing another Superman, super family related film, unless that Batman movie is evolved into some kind of Superman connected thing, which then it wouldn't be a solo Batman film. So I think basically what it comes down to is, if Andy Muschietti doesn't end up doing this, John, it's not because James Gunn necessarily wants to take it on. It's probably because Andy Muschietti like has something else going on, and then maybe like, you know, DC just decides, well, we're not going to wait to get this off the ground, so we'll just pick another director. But I don't think this rumor is true. I mean, like John Roca said, he's been talking about it for 2 years that Andy Muschietti doesn't end up directing this, and it could happen. I mean, like it might be because,
I mean, it could, like, people
you know,
drop out of
Welcome to
movies
Derry,
all the
so,
time. It's
yeah.
just like I think people are just kind of hoping that Muschietti drops out, because it's just, you know, I know we've said this in the past. It wasn't really Muschietti's fault that the Flash bombed, like, but it also doesn't really help that the movie that lost WB almost or over $200 million, that same exact writing directing team is coming back to do their biggest and most popular hero. I mean, if you want to give them another chance, fine, give them like a fucking D-list character, be like, okay, let's see what you can do. Don't hand them Batman, for fuck's sake, especially when people are like now really mad that they're not, like, one, not integrating the Batman into this universe, and two, people want to see Batman. He's the most popular hero, so like we want to see Batman, we want to see Wonder Woman, we want to see these characters, and it's just like, oh, but the guy who hasn't directed a good movie since 2014 is directing it. Okay, sure. So, you know, yeah, it was in production hell for years, but like, and I'm not saying Andy Muschietti is the reason, it doesn't feel good. It feels off that this guy, who technically was at the helm of this movie, is directing something that is kind of a big linchpin for this universe and for DC. So I don't know, it just feels wrong to me. It just feels off. Could he fucking pull something out of his ass? Sure. But remember, guys, the thing that usually comes out of ass is shit. So I mean, look,
Welcome to Derry is
good
on
it.
He's
but he
busy
didn't
with
direct
Welcome to
those
Derry.
episodes.
Yeah, I know, but like he was probably very heavily involved in it.
He was an executive producer on it. He was just like, oh yeah, that looks good. That's all he fucking did. Like, he wasn't even the showrunner.
Well,
so
we don't know for sure, but yeah, it's true. He wasn't a showrunner and stuff. But I mean, there's a season 2 of that, and remember, he's working on like an original movie, like a sci-fi film of his that he wants to do. So
yeah,
look, as of right now, nothing has changed, and the way James Gunn is talking about things, like when he recently addressed the Andy Muschietti story, he didn't really mention anything about Andy Muschietti not being involved in the movie. So obviously James Gunn believes that Andy is the right man for the job. So I don't think he's going to kick him out unless Andy decides that he is no longer interested, which, let's be honest, if Andy Muschietti can actually get the Batman movie right, that could be $1 billion film, right? So that'll be the biggest movie of his career. It would open a lot of doors for him. So I don't know if he's like itching to get out of the way for somebody else to take it on. It just seems like some of his comments, you know, might lead us to believe that, especially because that interview that we ranted on a year ago was originally in his native, I think, Portuguese, is it, or Spanish, because he's Argentinian. So like some of it was just lost in translation, what he was saying, and people just took it the wrong way. But like, here's the thing too, I agree with your fake in terms of like, I think their output is a little inconsistent at the beginning of the DCU, but I also don't think they need to do 3 to 4 movies. Like, what you want to do is you want to try to feel your way into something because it's a big financial commitment. You could hedge your bets by making more Clayface level movies where you're spending only 40 million, like MTG is saying, but it's easier said than done. Like, it's hard to go from 0 to 150 miles per hour, which would be like putting out 3 to 4 movies a year right out of the gate. I think what they've been trying to do is obviously try to get to maybe 2 to 3 movies. They said they wanted to do 2 live action and 1 animated movie a year. The earliest we might get to that is probably 2028, where they have the Batman Part 2 coming out in February, and then they have Dynamic Duo coming out in June. And maybe they could add a live action DCU film that year. Then that would be the first time we, under DC Studios, that we get 3 movies in a year. Not all DCU films, especially if Dynamic Duo is also not the DCU canon, but there were rumors that it might become that. So anyway, but hey, if the Batman Brave and the Bold movie goes into production in 2027, that would be music to our ears, and because that would also mean we might get the Batman casting announcement at some point this year, or if not early next year. So well, I think as far as animated movies theatrically, like, you gotta hold it to a higher level of regard than like the straight to DVD ones. So like Batman Nightfall is happening right now. There's a 2-part thing going, but I don't think they're gonna want to take a similar approach because more money will be on the line. It would be a higher profile movie. Like Dynamic Duo is taken through 2 to 3 years to put out, which is a similar timeline to what most Pixar movies, most Illumination Entertainment movies take. Like, animation movies take longer to make because you have to go through a longer development process. And then, if the animation style doesn't work, then if you start over, like they've done with the number of Pixar movies over the years, it further delays things. So animation movies always take longer, and you can't just rush them out, especially when you're trying to release it theatrically and have it, like, be something that is expected to make hundreds of millions of dollars. So, but yeah, I think this update was good about DC Batman. It gives us some semblance of a timeline, even if it's just a rumor for now. So, and I hope we get Wonder Woman news soon. But there we go. Let's move on past the Batman news. We got to talk about the Lantern show, John. The Lantern show that you are still holding out hope for to get better for you. I love
maybe it will get better with this newest episode if it has Guy Gardner in it.
Yeah.
Because apparently in one of the first clips they've released for the next episode is Guy Gardner visits Jon Stewart in 2026 in jail in Rushville.
And it's also, this is the same town, except in, like you said, 2026. Sheridan County Sheriff's Department, which is the building looks the same as it did in 2016.
Maybe a little bit more wear and tear, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. There you go. There's the landing shot.
There he is. Beautiful.
So and
got the
that
Green Lantern signal
is in Rushville, which has got a lot of graffiti on it. By the way, I can't really read what that says, any of it, but yeah, this looks like the present day of Rushville, Nebraska, and we've seen some of this footage from at the nighttime scenes with Guy Gardner and Jon Stewart probably walking out of the precinct in the look ahead trailer. So it looks like, when Jon Stewart showed up in town, somehow he got put in jail.
Somehow Guy Gardner returned.
Which makes you wonder, like, did Sheriff Carey stop liking him again? Because, like, the last time we saw them, they were, like, hugging and being like, how's your son doing? He's on the football team. He's all state. And so from there to here...
Or maybe, like...
has happened.
Maybe... like they do like a more thorough investigation and they're like, Jon Stewart, your DNA is all over this body. Come with me.
You know what? I have a different theory because in one of the other look ahead trailers, you see this exact 2026 version of Jon Stewart with a goatee punch Sheriff, like, Billy Macon Jr. Remember, he walks up to him and all the militia guys. And John literally like punches what's his face, Jason Ritter's character.
Jason Ritter's character.
And then they get into a bit of a brawl. I don't know, like he doesn't look like he took a lot of damage from that, but it probably means the sheriff has to put him behind bars, even if it's just for like the sake of like,
put that shit away, guy.
But the fact that they refer to each, I think that what was telling is he calls him Gardner, and Guy calls Jon Stewart, like not, but they're using each other's last names, which makes you wonder if this is their first time meeting each other, or just because Guy Gardner is world famous and that's why they're using last names. Because in that other look ahead trailer from the first episode, it sounded like this was the first time they were meeting each other, because like Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner says, the first time I met Hal was also in prison. But the way they start this conversation here with just last name only either means that yes, it is the first time around, or they've known each other before this. Maybe, and I was like, maybe that means that Jon Stewart had something to do with Guy Gardner getting the ring, considering that Jon was he was the choice, the hand picked by the Guardians. I don't know, John. Did you get any of that nuance out of it, or I'm probably just overthinking it? Like
I'm thinking that like maybe they met like once or twice, and like this is still kind of like early days, so the rapport is not quite there yet. Of like, oh, hello, John, hello, Guy, that kind of thing. So I could also see that happening too.
Yeah. I mean, still, we gotta figure out like how Guy ended up with the ring, and I'm not sure if this conversation is gonna tell us that, but I sure as hope we're gonna get that answer in episode 3, maybe. But speaking of episode 3, we also learned that they did a special press screening of episode 3 recently, and apparently it happened yesterday evening. And Jasmine Cephas Jones
and J. Alphonse Nicholson, people play
Mama
his
and
parents.
Papa Stewart.
Yeah.
Apparently their performance is good enough that DC Film News thinks that we could expect Emmy talks for them once this episode airs on Sunday, which would be wild. Like if we're going, I mean that again, I didn't think their roles were going to be that significant.
That makes sense. She's the daughter of Ron Cephas Jones. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay,
so
that
second
makes sense.
generation actor. Remember, they also cast older versions of
Nepo baby
these characters. So they did cast older versions of these characters from like the 2026 timeline, but they play like the 2016 versions, and we've already seen J. Alphonse Nicholson.
Or do you mean the 1996 versions? Is it the 1996 version?
No, you're right. Okay. You're right. The 1996 versions. Yes. Again, with the whole decades. I mean, I could keep it like even, because also in the 2016 story, Hal hasn't backed himself up for 10 years. So like there's technically, we might get to see Hal because it sounds like when Sinister tried to take over the Lanterns, that happened in 2006, and that was the last time Hal actually believed in the whole Lanterns, like the Guardians at least. And then he fell out with the Guardians in 2006 when he had to put away his own mentor, Sinestro, and then maybe Sinestro, like he was like, you were wrong in what you were trying to do, Sinestro, but at the same time, I think the Guardians, are full of shit. So he stopped backing himself on the ring. But again, that means the story is, there's 10-year gaps here that they're very cleanly organized for us. 1996, when potentially young Jon Stewart gets chosen by the Guardians. Then 2006 is when Hal Jordan loses faith in the Guardians. 2016 is when this investigation begins, which ends up in Hal Jordan dying. And then 2026 is hopefully where they'll finally unwrap all the tangled webs. But we do get to see the Marine, uniform. Jon Stewart.
I bet a baby is totally in that bundle of blankets, because it totally.
Dude, it's right like there. You could totally see the hair and stuff. Like you can't see it on her arm.
It looks so flat though. It looks like she's not holding it. It's just like
no, it's like, right there. You can't see the head on her right shoulder.
I can't see the head. No,
it's right. It's because it's black hair. Okay, like you need to brighten up your screen.
Not yet, but I will try to watch it tomorrow at some point.
Yeah, so. We'll try to do a Nightfall Part 1 review tomorrow, or maybe on Monday, depending on when John can get to it. But,
I did find it, by the way, so we're good. But yeah,
but I don't know how to read Marine Medal honor.
Bro, I don't fucking know either. Who do you think I am?
But it seems like there's a lot of them there. So Jon Stewart probably was a very decorated Marine, and then we've already seen this conversation with the young Jon Stewart baby with Laura Linney's Guardian, and then this is the one that takes place when he's older, like when John is older. This actually feels like she's actually no. This is a diner. Looks more like an office space, so not the same place, but you got Laura Linney's Guardian, and then this photo seems like we have seen other parts of this where it's like Jon Stewart's birthday from 1996, and then they give him like the shirt with the Green Lantern symbol on it. So maybe this is where they tell him about like the Guardian that visited them a number of years earlier when he was still a baby. So thank you, Jalen. But yeah, I don't know, John. This sounds exciting to me. I feel like there again, I'm really enjoying the show, so I'm going over the moon with the theories. But what about you? What are you expecting from the show this weekend?
Hopefully better episodes.
Okay, I mean the one thing I'm excited about is like episode 2 took place entirely in 2016. This one seems to be jumping between 1996 and potentially 2006 or maybe 2016, depending on how old this Jon Stewart is. He looks like this is probably 2016 or maybe a few years before then when he was still in the Marines. But yeah, I guess we'll find out. So on that note, Lanterns. I'm sure we'll do another preview segment tomorrow as we go into the weekend. We might have Liz on with us. But until then, John, let's talk about the Batman Part 2. Do you have the Kristen Milioti quote?
Yes, I
that
do.
we got.
Yes.
Let's start with that. Yep, there you go. Okay, so I don't know if this is an older quote because this is quoting a comic book movie doc. Oh, you know what it is? She recently did a movie that comic book movie was interviewing her for. It's like some indie film I'm forgetting the name of. So Kristen Milioti was doing an interview, and then of course toward the end of these interviews, you get to ask one question that's about something other than the project you're talking to them about. And so naturally they would ask her about like, are you gonna be in the Batman Part 2? Because even though she's kind of mentioned this before, I guess, it doesn't hurt to ask twice. And her response was, there's not a chance you'll see me in it. Sadly, I would go back to that world in a heartbeat, which again, we have heard her say this before, and why would she not? I mean, damn, Sophia Falcone or Sophia Gigante was probably the breakout star of the Penguin show. And I'm like, every single one of us would want her to be back in this franchise. But John, do you think she's ever coming back in something in this franchise? Because the Penguin season 2 is up in
She
the
did a
air.
great job in that miniseries. So,
like, I would love to see her back. I mean, obviously, we have glazed over, we have glazed, not glazed over. We have glazed Kristen Milioti so often, deservedly so. But let's see. Maybe she will be back in the third the Batman movie, like in 2035 or something like that. So John sighs. But you know what, John? You know what? Caleb, I think, is still in the chat. Oh, I hope she's pulling an Andrew Garfield as well. Thank you for the gold coins, the 10 jewels, Enterprising. We appreciate it. But Caleb, if you are still here, we have got Ricky Stunts sighting for you. A Ricky English sighting for you. I don't know, John, if you're able to like zoom into the image in the browser, we want to show the evidence, because here we're kind of getting it from the distance. It's a pretty good looking shot, but you could kind of tell that Ricky Stunts is right there. There's the shot. Now, if you zoom into this, there it is. Ricky Stunts. They've got a shit ton of cameras mounted on this car. Clearly, the cops are surrounding him. And Ricky Stunts is sitting in there with a bat suit on with the eye mascara. Except that, he doesn't have the actual mask on, but he has like a hat with like a tracking marker of some kind, which I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like a Crash Dummy logo.
Yeah, it seems like they're probably going to either do a face replacement, or this is just they're practicing the stunt, or whatever the case is. They might just CGI the head part. I don't know. But it's definitely Ricky Stunts. But at least he's got the eye mascara makeup on, right? So, he looks somewhat the part. Or if like Robert Pattinson like lost his mask in the middle of a fight, this is what he would look like, if he had a hat on instead. So, but anyway, there's more photos here. Again, they're doing the same stunt like for 3 days in a row, because obviously there's a number of parts to this stunt. So the Batmobile is still doing the spinning thing. But there's more to it than that, actually, John, because we got some more videos. So let's go to the video, shall we? There's a new video. And if you could click into this, and so we can kind of get it, we'll watch it back a few times. And I think you can go full screen on it, because I want to kind of talk through what's going on here. Because remember, like, we've been following this for a few days now. It seems like this car chase ends up with Batman getting surrounded by the GCPD, which is, we have seen, again, this reminds me a lot about that scene in The Dark Knight Rises where it ends with the bat flying away, and it's like there's like some, I forget the line at the end. He's like the veteran cop that says to the DA or something at the time. But anyway, But John, like, they were seemingly practicing this stuff before. They've shot the easy parts where they showed they shot the stuff where the car was stationary in the middle and driving away in a distance. And now it looks like they're shooting the hard stuff. They were practicing this yesterday clearly, and then today they're doing the actual crash. This also explains the damage on the Batmobile that we have been seeing for the number of days. And you could clearly tell, I mean, doing that kind of a stunt, you got to practice it a few times because there's an actual driver on the driver's side of that car that the Batman just rams into. So, you know, they probably have a rolling cage and other protections there. They also, what's interesting here, you see there's another crashed car. There's only half of it there. Like you see the half of that police car is not even there. You see it on the left. You see the one that's right under that where the dude just walked away. That's not even like a full. They're only built like half of a GCPD car because that's all they needed for that camera that's on a jib. You can see there's a camera operator who lowers the camera and then runs away because they want to be safe as the car drives down because it is slippery and you can see the car doesn't have traction control on, so they can get the little drifting effect. But yeah, clearly Batman won't be contained by a bunch of Crown Vics. So there you go. We do have another video of the drive away because apparently as the car is driving away, John, he does hit another GCP car on the way out. So yeah, I mean, they tried to corner him. They almost did. The SWAT car is there. At one point they were shooting at him. And all of that is probably going to end up like working out smoothly. But if you can go to the next video, John, so we can talk about that bit. Because again, they shoot this in parts. Like that particular shot we were going through was only about the crash, and they shot it. But then here you see that half-built car that's not even all there. He's meant to hit that on the way, so now they've repositioned the cameras so they can shoot that part. So again, you're shooting the stunt sequence in pieces, and then once you obviously edit it all together, it seems like one smooth sequence of what the car is doing, that the Batmobile does. But yeah, I mean the continuity of that other police car's front left headlight not being broken, I'm sure they'll figure out in post-production. But yeah, cool. I'm a fan of like seeing how the cake is made or whatever, so I thought this was fun to look at. But you know what's also fun to look at, John? There's another high resolution image of the Batmobile with the woman in blonde. And this time around, I mean, let's start with the Batman part of the shot first. If you scroll over to the other side, there, it looks like that's either still Rick English, but with the mask on and the cowl on, or that's Robert Pattinson. It could be Robert Pattinson. It's more likely.
I mean, that is
Robert
clearly
Pattinson.
Not Scarlett Johansson. I will say
that is yes,
definitely
exactly.
not Scarlett Johansson.
It looks like somebody who would be a stunt double for potentially Scarlett Johansson. It looks like that's blonde, if not like silver hair. It might be the lighting, but definitely looks like it's like, blonde hair, or yeah, exactly. So or bleach blonde, but there's clearly somebody in there, likely not for, oh hey, Emo Nerd Girl, we got a different username today. But yeah, I mean, John, you care to speculate, because it doesn't seem like she's in there for purely like safety or stunt reasons, because they're filming this, if it is a stunt double, and whether to do a face replacement or whether it's just there because you're meant to see the silhouette of the person in the car as you shoot it from a distance, so they don't have to have the real actor in there. Like, I don't know, like, do you care to speculate? Because they were saying maybe she was playing Gilda Dent. That was like the original theory for Scarlett Johansson. The latest thing was about Poison Ivy. There's been other characters associated with, like, I don't know what else this tells us about the character itself, other than the fact that she is at one point going to be working alongside Batman, or he's rescuing her away from some situation, or like, and whatever they're up to leads the GCPD to chase them and try to hunt them down.
Yes,
which is interesting. I mean, I don't know how the Court of Owls would be involved in all of that, but well, we hope that you had a good nap, Emo Nerd Girl. Thank you for joining us just in time. I mean, we're mostly done with the show, so definitely rewind, be kind and rewind. But yeah, I guess we'll find out which of those theories about the Batman Part 2 end up turning out to be true. I hope we get, because we know Scarlett Johansson is in the UK. Like, we got some photos of her like walking about in London, so they might be filming more stuff with the actual actors at Leavesden Studios, like where they're in a soundstage. But the stunt stuff, this is all stunts mostly. I don't even think Robert Pattinson actually on set himself. We have seen the suit, but that might also not be him. So I guess we'll see when there's more set photos. I mean, yeah, it looks like we'll be talking, and now that Man of Tomorrow's done, it's gonna be the Batman Part 2 set photos the rest of the way. So, or like if we get more drone photos from Avengers Secret Wars, that they're building that whole battle royal set we looked at. So anyway, all right, that's it, we're done. Anything else you want to add to that, John?
Not really, no, but thanks for joining us on this wonderful little Thursday, now Friday.
Do you want to point out the poll? We have the poll up for Fancast Friday. Let's do a quick
Sure,
update before
if
we
you'd
wrap
like.
up. Yeah, and also we missed a super chat earlier. Just some geeky guys sent in a super chat saying, "I finished watching Batman Nightfall Part 1. Absolutely phenomenal film. Such a faithful adaptation of its comic source material. 9 out of 10. Thank you for the review and thank you for the super chat. And we will probably try to do a review for that either tomorrow or Monday, depending on when John can get to it. So thank you everybody for all of your super chats. Rest in peace, Peter Cullen. Thank you, Enterprising, for all of your support. And John, where's the poll at? What's the deal with the Fancast Friday poll?
Yeah, I'm getting it now. Hang on a sec.
It looks like we were past 100 votes, I think, or were we past the 100 votes mark?
Yeah,
no, we're not quite there yet. It's actually still a bit of a no. It's a Mount Rushmore Monday poll. Sorry, not a Fancast Friday poll. We actually have both up.
Well, we have both up, and this is
for some
reason taking forever to load. I don't know why, because my.
But for Fancast Friday, Mystique is still winning, and then it looks like for Mount Rushmore Monday, it's a pretty close tally right now. So, but we can go to the Mount Rushmore Monday poll. Mount Rushmore Monday, the 4 options are: you got sitcoms, comfort shows, DC films, and comedy films. Right now, DC films is winning by a slight margin over comedy films.
This is the Fancast Friday poll. It's at 247 votes, you liar. And then we got Mount Rushmore.
43
voting time. Although we did already do kind of superhero films, but I guess
did we? But we didn't do DC films. We did Marvel.
We did
movies,
superhero films, but
Caleb said no. We did do Marvel films as well. Remember? So Caleb suggested we do DC films. So I figured we'd round out that particular category. So, and it is winning right now. So DC films might be it, but there's time because I have hope that comedy films finally wins. It's been on this poll for like 6 weeks. So anyway, or like if it's comedy films, then we get to talk about a bunch like 20. I'm going to talk about 22 Jump Street, with the other guys. But like comfort shows would be nice. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or sitcoms. I mean, Brooklyn Nine-Nine could qualify for both technically. So anyway. All right. Well, on that lovely note, John, we will be back tomorrow. We have DCU Daily, and then after that, Fancast Friday, where it looks like, as of right now, we'll be doing MCU Mystique, unless there's a wave of votes not in favor of Mystique, which is unlikely. So until then, stay involved, hype, like, subscribe, notification bell, and all the other things that YouTube wants you to do so that this video can make it in front of more eyeballs. So thank you for watching.
Yep.
And on behalf of John and I, and Liz, who might be on tomorrow, stay blessed from the beginning.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to.
Why are you gonna click
right there?
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
I'm just trying to help.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
Fuck Tom King and David Ellison and Jeff Snyder, ladies and gents. See you all tomorrow.